Thanks for logging on to myfoxhurricane.com. Watching now, Tropical Storm Ernesto. Remember, yesterday this was potential tropical cyclone number 5, just that special name that these systems are given when it's expected to become a tropical system. It's just not quite there yet, but the impacts to land are basically within 48 hours. So you want to get that messaging out, get the watches and the warnings up. But as you look at this, definitely looking a lot more impressive than what we saw yesterday. It looked very disorganized yesterday. Couldn't really pick out one central core with this. Now you're really starting to see a lot more of that convection really kind of centering in on the center of this storm, and it is gaining more and more organization and more strength as well. So you look at the satellite, the radar combined, and that's going to be really the big thing. As this moves through the Caribbean, yes, it is picking up more intensity, it is getting stronger, but a lot of this is going to be about the rain with this, the flooding, the mudslides, the threat of those mudslides as we go through the next several days, as it moves through these islands heading up towards Puerto Rico as well. Places like Puerto Rico could see between 4 to 8 inches of rain, could see even more than that. That kind of rain in a short period of time, it causes a lot of issues. So flooding, mudslides, that's going to be the big concern really over the next couple of days. So here's the latest on it. Ernesto, winds have increased now up to 50 miles an hour, still moving pretty quickly onto the west-northwest at 18 miles an hour. You can see all these various islands being affected by this as we go through the coming days, and then it makes that turn more towards the north, and that's going to be something that we watch very closely as well. How quickly does this turn happen? And then it moves into this environment of much more favorable winds in the atmosphere, plenty of moisture, plenty of heat content in the Atlantic Ocean as well. And you see what's up here, Bermuda. They will be watching this extremely closely because depending on what side of Bermuda this goes on really makes a big difference on what they will be experiencing in that island. Remember, if you're on that right-hand side of the storm, you're on that stronger side, that dirty side of the storm, and so the implications are much more as opposed to if this moves to the east of the island. They would still be dealing with a lot of issues, but it would be lesser amounts, and so you want that to push on towards the east. But right now that official track takes it just to the west. But remember, we're talking about anywhere inside this cone is really fair play. So things are going to be changing quite a bit as we go through the coming days with respect to Bermuda. So right now you see all the blue shaded areas. That's where we have the tropical storm warnings out right now. Throughout the Virgin Islands, we now have a hurricane watch that has been issued. And so this will be intensifying, and there's that possibility this could be a hurricane prior to that. So that's why they've gone ahead and put up those watches and warnings with that hurricane watch now. So you look at the models, you can see the beginning part of that, everything was fairly tightly clustered, and it's always, once you're making that turn, you're getting more out in time, you're going to see a bit more of a spread, but you do see a lot of the models just kind of favoring maybe a little bit further to the east. So time will tell how this changes up over the next several days. Here's our own Fox model, exclusive Fox model, watching this work its way towards Puerto Rico. You can see those heavy rain bands that will be pushing through there as we head into tomorrow. You're looking at a lot of that working its way through, even as we head through tomorrow night, heading into Thursday. Still a lot of that rain will be working its way out of there. And then I think as it gets to the north of Puerto Rico, that's where I think we're really going to start to see this system coming together, and there's that possibility we could go through a period of rapid intensification. Now, the official forecast track right now calls for this to be about 110 miles an hour, a Category 2. Could this be stronger? Absolutely. We could see this becoming a major hurricane. And here's Bermuda in here. Notice with the Fox model going just a little to the east, to the right. And that's a big implication because if it goes to the right, yes, they'll still have hurricane force winds, but they'll be on that better side of the storm. There you see it right there getting lashed, but those heavy rain bands as well and the strong winds. And then starting to work its way to the north, although as it moves just to the north of Bermuda, more and more of the models, including our own Fox model, showing that it's going to slow down. And that's because the trough, which is helping to steer this system on towards north, it kind of bypasses this storm. So we saw this with Debbie. Trough moves out, it kind of loses some of those steering currents into the storm, will slow down, but it looks like it'll slow down just to the north of Bermuda, although we'll have a lot of these waves making their way all the way to the east coast. So say from the Carolinas all the way up the east coast, those strong waves working their way onshore. So here's the forecast as far as the winds, and there you see those winds right around that hurricane force working their way through Bermuda. But again, if they can stay with this storm passing to the east of Bermuda, that will help them out, because you see this large area of much stronger winds. If that were to pass right over the island with it taking a track like this, that would be a much worse scenario for Bermuda. So we're going to continue to fine tune this, and things will be changing over the next several days, and we'll keep you updated right here on myfoxhurricane.com.